Meteorologist Joey Sovine here at the Live 5 Alert Desk with an update of the tropics here as we get going on our Wednesday, kind of a midweek update of what's happening out in the Atlantic Basin, because behind Helene, there has been some other stuff out there, and there's been a lot of chatter, a lot of rumors, of people concerned, and for good reason, about other storms out there that could impact the southeast with all the devastation up in to the mountains of South Carolina here and the upstate and the North Carolina, and then on down into Georgia, the Augusta area as well. The last thing we need is more weather, inclement weather, and especially a tropical system headed our way to be concerned about. And the good news is I'm going to show you a couple different areas we're watching. None of these pose any threat to our area or the southeastern section of the U.S. We have Hurricane Kirk way out in the Atlantic Ocean. This thankfully is out over the open Atlantic because it is forecast to become a major hurricane. But this is going to make a turn and be what we call a fish storm. Shipping interests, those will be really the only things, the people that will be impacted by this, because it will even stay well away east of Bermuda. Now, elsewhere, we do have another disturbance behind that. That's on the cusp. Anytime later to this morning or this afternoon could become Leslie. That's the next name up on the list. A tropical depression will turn into a tropical storm, and we would likely see this become a hurricane. But once again, this is way, way, way out in the Atlantic Ocean, very close to the coast of Africa. And it is expected right now, as we look out in the computer models, for this to follow in Kirk's footsteps. So this will likely be a non-issue for any land areas as well. And then the third place we're watching this morning is that area that we've been monitoring in the Gulf of Mexico, the Western Caribbean, because there is the potential down the road later this week, the weekend, and early next week. You leave a lot of moisture around. Eventually, an area of low pressure will try to develop at some point in time. The good news is the upper level winds are fairly hostile, meaning that they're not really favorable like they were for Helene, for something to form and grow really strong. So this would likely stay on the weaker side. And notice that big blue H right there to the north of that area of low pressure. That indicates high pressure that's going to prevent this from coming northward, and you can really see that in the forecast map of rainfall for the next 7 days, where we have a heavy rainfall expected down in the Gulf and kind of in those right along the Gulf Coast, perhaps in the panhandle of Florida, but more so down through the state of Florida, down from Tampa, Orlando, down into Fort Myers, and then over to the Fort Lauderdale area. That is where we do expect the heaviest of rainfall to come. What's going to happen is a weak area of low pressure may develop and then track eastward, but likely stay well south of our area and thankfully out of the Appalachian Mountains. That's latest from the Live 5 Alert Desk as far as what's going on in the tropics. You can always check in on the latest in the tropics on live5news.com/hurricane or by downloading the Live 5 First Alert weather app, and we keep you updated there as well. Have a good day.